of Lords, the independent peer Baroness Fox, Claire Fox. Claire, thank you for joining us. Now, last night, Zack Polanski was asked 7 times by Victoria Derbyshire on Newsnight to apologise and failed to apologise for retweeting or reposting that image. Is he right not to apologise?
I'm very torn on this. I mean, I watched Newsnight and I think it was obvious that by refusing to apologise in the way that he did, in quite a passive-aggressive way, he was going to make this issue worse, which it has done, because it's now the subject of endless conversation today. But I'm also not keen on a kind of performative, you must apologise. I mean, you know, if he'd have said sorry, I wouldn't necessarily have believed him, if that makes any sense. You know, it's a kind of routine thing that we now say, you must say sorry. Maybe a bit more worrying for me, and this is where I'm most ambivalent, is that I do not think that reporting Zack Polanski to the police has been helpful. I think that we're playing a very risky game here of seeming to go along with the kind of tactics that Zack Polanski actually deploys, which is to try and criminalise speech we don't agree with, don't like, find disgusting, obnoxious, unsavoury.
Yeah, you are a free speech champion, and you were since you were a Brexit Party MEP with Nigel Farage. Look at the language last night from Zack Polanski. He said this the first time he was asked, if he had done it deliberately, I will be apologising. Because it was a mistake, I think the important thing is point out it was a mistake. So it appears to be that because it wasn't said deliberately, there's no need to say sorry.
Well, the point is, it wasn't his tweet, right? He retweeted or reposted something, and which, I mean, it has to be said, has happened to many of us, not that image. I just mean that it's the fate of anyone who uses social media quickly. He should take responsibility. I want us to concentrate on the things that really matter, and what I think is very problematic from the Greens, Zack Polanski, and some people in the Labour Party, is the way that they indeed are less understanding of the climate that we live in at the moment, in which the context of this is obviously the terrible circumstances of the murder of Anne Widdecombe.
Exactly.
And the fact that there's a real atmosphere of treating reform and people around reform, both voters, local councils and all the rest of it, with such contempt that they don't kind of fit into the normal rules of political discourse. And so whereas we kind of get hysteria when anyone says anything remotely, you know, off on social media, being called bigots and racists and so on and so forth, and, you know, no matter what, even if you think it wasn't too serious. In this instance, when it was serious, you'd expect there to be more seriousness given to it. However, and it's not just about being a free speech champion. This is an important point for any political party. I think that if you want to be a new political party, climbing up the ranks, making sure that the voices of millions of people are heard, like Reform, you have to defend our rights. And our rights are free speech, necessary, required. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere if you kind of go along with the censorious climate and the thin-skinnedness that we've seen from too many people in the identity politics camp.
Well, Claire Fox, thank you for joining us there. Baroness Fox, a free speech champion in the House of Lords, explaining maybe why sorry seems to be the hardest word sometimes in politics. Thank you for joining us. Coming up next, an amateur